Are you an anime fan? If yes, you must be familiar with the anime One Piece.
One Piece is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Ichiro Oda,
The story follows the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy.
a boy whose body gained the properties of rubber after unintentionally eating a devil fruit. With his pirate crew, the Straw Hat Pirate, Luffy explores the Grand Line in search for the deceased king of the pirates, Goldie Roger's ultimate treasure known as the One Piece.
In order to become the next king of the pirates. Now, get this. The successful anime's Goldie Roger is inspired from a real-life person.
Meet Oliver Levasseur. He is an 18th century pirate who made his way from the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean.
It was in Reunion Island in 1721 when Levasseur captured
The crippled Portuguese ship known as the Nossa Senhora del Cabo, or Our Lady of the Cape, a vessel loaded with untold wealth and a number of important religious artifacts.
and that event was the last straw for the French authorities. Faced with renewed interest in his death, Levasseur was finally captured, taken to jail, and hanged as a result for his crimes.
Just before he died, he threw a necklace with carved symbols.
But before we continue, let's discuss how this one is related to the ciphers of cryptography. Cipher is performing encryption or decryption, a series of steps that can be followed as a procedure.
The earliest known use of cryptography is found in non-standard hieroglyphs carved into the wall of a tomb from the Old Kingdom of Egypt circa 1900 BC. Some clay tablets from Mesopotamia, somewhat later, are clearly meant to protect information. One dated near 1500 BC was found to encrypt a craftsman recipe for pottery glaze, presumably commercially valuable.
But here are some codes and ciphers that are widely used throughout the history.
Number 1. Caesar Shift Cipher. This particular cipher has been named after Julius Caesar since he used it himself. A cipher was present for each letter of the alphabet. For example, ROT1 is one of the ciphers. To decode the message, the person has to be aware which cipher has been used. In G cipher, A becomes G, B becomes H, and so on. In Y cipher, A becomes Y, and so on.
This particular cipher is not very hard to decipher, and hence, these secret messages does not remain secret for long.
Number 2. Enigma Code. The Germans used this sophisticated cipher during the Second World War. It involved using an Enigma machine which is similar to the typewriter. All Germans had the same Enigma machine, and the initial wheel configuration of the machine was communicated to all the teams. When a letter was pressed on the machine, a cipher letter lit up on the screen. It got even more difficult when the wheel rotated after a certain number of letters, so that the cipher kept on changing.
There could be 100 trillion configurations, and hence was very difficult to decipher Enigma.
Number 3. Public Key Cryptography. This is one of the most widely used types of codes or cipher. It is modern and is made of two keys, the private and the public key. The public key is a large number everyone can get. The private key is made of two numbers. These two numbers are multiplied together and can produce the public key. For example, the public key is 1764, the private key can be 36 and 49. It is very secure and is used in emails, bank access details, and many more.
Without the private key, the code cannot be deciphered.
Number 4. Book Cipher. This particular cipher involves the use of some key, essentially in a book. Both the parties should have the same book and the same edition to successfully decipher the code.
Locations of the books are used to replace the plain text of the message.
Number 5. Skittily. This is an old form of cryptography, which was used by ancient Greeks and Spartans during military campaigns.
It falls under the transposition cipher and involves parchment with a message wrapped around a cylinder.
The recipient of the message then winds the parchment on a cylinder of the same size to decipher the message.
Going back, inside the necklace, Levaswa had hidden a small note that contained a 17-line cryptic message.
The cryptogram had 17 lines of random symbols that no one seemed to immediately recognize.
As of today in 2022, it hasn't been found yet. But there are many efforts made over the years to locate the missing loop. But just because it hasn't been found yet, it doesn't necessarily make the treasure a myth. That is the beauty in the fascination that drives us to continually try to find the answers to what we have yet to lay our hands on. I am Hero Jean Cueto. See you next time.
Find my treasure, the one who may understand it.